What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I am back to review another episode of Tyler Perry Sistas. This is season 6, episode 4. The episode is titled Face the Fire, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It took a lot of me to, number one, watch this episode, and number two, do a review on it, just because I hate where the story is going. And y'all already know I have an issue with the way the acting is unbalanced. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and jump right on in. So we start this episode off, you guys, at Andy's office. Pam is there, as well as Zach and Fatima with Andy. And basically, Pam has to get it out that Karen is dead. I feel like it took a lot of strain and drain for us to get to that point. And once I got the reactions, I was not here for it. You have Zach having more of an emotional reaction to the fact that Karen, who is his ex, has passed away, according to Pam, and he skedaddles out the door. Didn't even take one glance at Fatima. He said he gonna be down there to the salon, okay? Then it took a moment, I guess, for Andy to register in her mind what Pam said, because now she kind of starts to go into a hysterical cry. Or not even a cry, because I don't think she shed a tear. But I don't know. I'm kind of over the fact that sometimes in acting, they don't want the actors to actually cry. And I feel like I need that emotion to come out. I need to see some watery, glassy eyes. Even if you don't let the tear drop, I still need to be able to see that. And that's not what we got here with these actors. I'm going to say that it's the script and how they shot it, and not blame the actors for it. Okay, fine. That's what's going on, right? So now Fatima says that she'll drive them to, wherever they need to go. I guess it was back to Karen's shop. So the next thing, we have the girls in the car because, like I said, Zach got up out of there because he had to go see what was happening at the salon. And completely left his fiance, who was just there for him when he had to go see his son. Talked him off of the ledge because he was trying to basically kidnap his son because he doesn't have parental rights. But you know what? I'm gonna let that breathe for a moment. So in the car, we have Andy, Pam, and Fatima. And Andy, I feel like she is going numb right now. She's in that space of this can't be real. Like, she's kind of in a daze. But then you have Pam. She's still crying in the back seat, talking about how, Aaron said that it was all her fault. And Fatima is the driver. Because clearly I would not trust those two people to drive. Especially after hearing news like this. So Fatima is like, how do we even know that it was actually Karen? And, of course, Pam is like, because her car was at the shop. Now, one thing that I hate is the fact that Andy was like, oh, Fatima, you're not driving fast enough. And she's like, I'm driving basically as fast as I can. And here goes Pam in the back. Not as fast as Zach. First of all, Zach left 5 minutes before her, number one. Number two, I think it's a terrible idea that Zach was driving because he's probably driving like a bat out of hell. And at the end of the day, when you hear news like that somebody has passed away, honestly, you do not need to be driving and operating any type of vehicle. Because honestly, you don't know when it's really going to hit you. You may have a breakdown. Like, it's a lot that can happen with those emotions. Ooh-wee. So here we go into this conversation, though, because Andy's like, oh, I need to call her mom. And Pam is like, I tried to, but I couldn't because Aaron told me not to. We need to get more information. So Andy's like, what more information do you need? Because, again, we're assuming that this body belongs to who? To Karen. Well, she's like, oh, well, he blames me for everything. And, of course, she has to say, I left the curling irons on, so, it's basically my fault, y'all. Like, that's not funny. But she does have to admit that, hey, I left the curling irons on. That caused the fire. And Karen went, in to try to save her shop, basically. And now Andy is like, you know what, I gotta call the girls. She don't even have her phone. Fatima says she'll call them. First person they say to call is Danny. Y'all, we got the typical Tyler Perry back and forth. Everybody's repeating the same information because basically Fatima calls Danny, tells her to come to the salon, and here goes Danny. What do I need to come to the salon for? Why do I need to come to the salon? What's going on? What's going on at the salon? And the only thing that Fatima can tell her, just come to the salon. Please come to the salon. Danny, come to the salon. Get to the salon, Danny. Well, I need to talk to Andy. What's going on? What's going on? Like, it was back and forth banter that I did not need. What we could have written was, you know what, Danny, I really need for you to come to Karen's salon. Something serious has happened. I wouldn't personally be calling you if it wasn't something serious. So please, can you get to the salon? Because there's no other reason why Fatima would be calling Danny. But that's not what we got, y'all. We got that typical back and forth repetitious foolishness that Tyler loves to write. One thing that I did want to point out was the fact that in that moment of Andy finding out what happened with the curling iron situation, I was actually surprised that she did not, lash out at Pam. Because at the end of the day, she knows that Pam did not maliciously try to leave the curling irons on purpose so that way the shop could burn up. You know what I'm saying? Because that was never Pam's intention. But let's go ahead and move on because I said, why did we follow up with this scene? Y'all, it's Q. Here he go. He laid up in the bed at the hospital. Now, here comes Mr. FBI strolling in because he wants answers from Q. Q is basically telling him how, you need to go ahead and arrest Maurice. But he's like, no, I'm not going to arrest him. I saw the video footage, and why did you have a gun? Now, y'all, it's all making all types of sense, this foolishness, as to why they are really trying to pin this on Maurice and, what's her name? And Sabrina. Because we learned that Mr. FBI, he got a promotion because he basically solved this case. And they're pinning it on Sabrina and Maurice because if it actually comes out that they were falsely accused of this, that means that man did not do his job correctly. His promotion is gone and he may be working a desk somewhere. I said, that's how we playing it. Okay. So then he basically tells Q how, he needs to stop with the foolishness and how he wish he had a better witness. And I'm just like, you wish you had a better witness because you wish that you had somebody who was telling you the truth. Q has been playing you this whole time and I don't understand how you don't see it. But I don't think that you want to see it because you actually don't care. You don't care that Maurice and Sabrina are falsely accused. You're not trying to prove that. What you're trying to do is just keep your promotion. So now he's trying to tell Q that he needs to go back to work because according to the nurse, he's fine. Q is like, no, but I got shot. He's like, nah, you need to go ahead and prove that you turn your life around and you have to go back to work at the airport. And one thing that stood out to me in this conversation, y'all, was when he gonna say, and you had marijuana in your system. I said, baby, he should have way more than marijuana in his system. Because y'all remember when Q got out and he was at Maurice and, and Calvin's house? He was getting high on all types of stuff. He was definitely getting high on more than just some marijuana. Stop playing with me. Y'all, I'm so disappointed in Logan's character. Like, I really thought that there was a chance for him and Danny to maybe figure things out after the whole Sabrina thing blew over. But baby, no. He ain't worth nothing. Let's slide on over to Sabrina. Y'all, she's back at her place with Bio. They had such a wonderful lunch. So wonderful that when she mentions that she wants to talk about, the court case and Maurice and all that, he don't want to hear nothing about it. Because he don't want to ruin the day talking about the court case. Now, speaking of Maurice, he done popped up to Sabrina's house. And, this is his first time seeing Bio since, I want to say probably since they used to work at the bank. But now that he's here, you know, he wants to thank him for all that he's done for Maurice because, you know, he put up the money. So Maurice is trying to speak to him in a very Maurice way, like, oh, you know, thank you for what you've done for me. And Bio, he kind of got a little, I don't know, his energy was off. Like, his response to that was, oh, well, I did it for Sabrina. And he's like, oh, you know, well, thank you for what you did for us. And Bio is like, okay, well, do you want anything else? Like, why are you here? He was giving, sir, you are a peasant. Why are you in my face? So at one point, you have Maurice saying, I love you, I love your music, or something like that. I said, what was that line? Bio ain't never been an artist, so why'd you say you like his music? Like, are you trying to say you like Afro beats? What was that line, Tyler? So he's like, just call me Bio or something like that. And next thing you know, Maurice is like, okay, you didn't have to be real short with me. Because at this point, Bio's kind of a little rude. And he goes on to be like, oh, is that like a joke about my height? Because remember, Maurice said, oh, you don't have to be so short with me. Now, I understand there could have been a language difference there. My problem is that Sabrina didn't jump in and say, no, that's not what he meant. That's not what that translates to in, the American language. That just means that your answers were very short and you're not very, welcoming, I guess you could say. So he basically tells Sabrina, you need to ask him to leave. Because he knows what type of person Maurice is and all this stuff. I said, ooh-wee, Bio got a little chip on his shoulder. What's going on here? And honestly, in that moment, I hated the fact that the only thing Sabrina had to say was, Bio, that's my friend. Girl, you could have said more than that. You could have just straight up told Bio, like, hey, whoa, like, this is going left. Maurice doesn't mean anything by what he's saying. This is his way of thanking you for all that you've done for him. That's all she had to do. But her response was, Bio, this is my friend. Like, that is one thing about Sabrina's character, is that she gonna serve us a BS one-liner that don't push this story along in no way, shape, or form. So Bio basically gives her the ultimatum of either he go or I go. So Sabrina is trying to be like, wait, like, Maurice is my friend or whatever. And Maurice is like, you know what? I see what's going on here. Like, don't even worry about it, Sabrina. I see where there's a mix-up happening. Y'all, I hollered when he said, oh, I don't want Sabrina. I personally don't see how anybody could. I fell out because when it comes to Sabrina's character, I can't lie. The way she be acting sometimes, I'll just be like, girl, how is Calvin so in love with you, girl? How is Bio so in love with you? Because you are off. Something's off about your character. So basically, Maurice tries to finish his statement by saying, he likes men, basically. And here goes Bio. You are disgusting. And he literally storms out. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, the fact that this man already had a conversation with Sabrina about how Maurice is gay. Because remember, she was like, are you homophobic? Y'all remember that conversation? Because the stuff that he was saying about how Maurice, like, oh, I know how he is, all this stuff. And then he tried to clean it up and say, oh, no, I'm just saying that he's not a good person because he got put in that situation with Q. Y'all remember that? For us to actually have to come back to this conversation now where he's saying Maurice face to face, keep in mind, you knew that Maurice worked at the bank. You've seen him before at the bank, and you've never had no problems with him or whatever. But now, you giving him all this unnecessary attitude, sir. He don't want to be with you. Relax, Bio. Like, the fact that you are absolutely homophobic and there's no other way around this, I'm over it. And the crazy thing to me is the fact that, sir, you just put up $1 million something to get this man out of jail, and for you to call him disgusting to your face, baby, why'd you put your money on it? Why did you put your money on him? There's no way you can tell me Sabrina is worth you dropping $1 million on a man that you don't know, and you're going to be homophobic too. How does that make any sense? There's no justification for that at all. Like, I'm sorry. I thought that the bio situation was going to go a total different way. Like, the whole homophobic thing, I did not see that coming. I thought he was going to play Sabrina and she was going to end up broke. I thought he was going to have to, like, force her to marry him. I thought we was going to get one of those type of storylines. But this one right here, it makes absolutely no sense. Because there's no way you can tell me that you like Sabrina that much that you're willing to put $1 million up for a man who you find disgusting because you're homophobic. Y'all, let me go ahead and move on to the rest of the conversation. Like I said, bio left, and, Sabrina is basically in disbelief that Bio is reacting the way he is. And Maurice is like, no, that's who he is. He's homophobic. And there's no need for you to try to clean up his actions. So the whole reason why Maurice is even there is because he wants to tell Sabrina how he went up to the hospital, talked to Q. He thinks that he's going to break Q. I think this is a horrible storyline for the Q, Calvin, Maurice, Sabrina drama. I think this is a dumb storyline with Q, possibly breaking. That ain't about to happen. So she finally looks at her phone and she realizes that she has all these missed calls from Danny. She calls her, Danny tells her to get down to the salon, and now her and Maurice are headed to the salon. Alright, y'all, so let's pop on over to the next scene because we have Aaron still asking for answers. Ain't nobody giving him no answers. He over there spiraling. You have Gary trying to make calls. And baby, here comes Zach. Here comes Zach springing from the car, trying to get some answers. Oh my gosh, is Karen in there? Oh my God. I'm like, here we go. Now, y'all, this is what I wanted to call the emotional Olympics, because I feel like there were multiple characters fighting for their life to prove how much they love Karen. Now, we already had to deal with Aaron doing all his hooping and hollering, yelling at firefighters, yelling at the walls, yelling at everybody because he trying to get information. Now here we have Andy. She come rolling and strolling up with Fatima, and she's crying and whining and, oh my God, Karen, and oh my God, all of this. But baby, who decided to win the Olympics and show up and show out? Zachary Taylor. Baby, he rolled up on Aaron and, what's his name? Gary, asking questions at first. Then, out of nowhere, he started yelling out, Karen, Karen, Karen. I said, if you don't shut up, Zach. I was so pissed off because I'm like, this is really an emotional Olympics. Everybody's competing to show their love for Karen. I cannot with this scene. So now you already know Mr. Huff and Puff is back, y'all. Y'all know that I love to call Zach Mr. Huff and Puff when he get in his little emotional bag. And baby, he's here because he is huffing and puffing about Karen and how he needs to know what's going on. Baby, here comes Slick Mouth Aaron. Now, at first he was just telling him information like, yo, you got to calm down because, we got to wait till the coroner come and all these people come to get some information. But baby, when Aaron hit him with the slick mouth and said, oh, now you care? Now you give a damn about Karen? Because shit just got real? I said, yep. Now he want to care. Because he has been fighting with Karen this entire time. But now, because y'all was going to end on bad terms, you know what I'm saying? You want to be all emotional. Sir, go sit down somewhere. Like, I understand nobody ever wants to think that the person that they're on bad terms with at the moment will pass away. That's horrible. But at the end of the day, Zach, I need you to bring this energy 50 steps down, please. And again, you guys, this circles back to what I was talking about on my last review how the men on this show get to push themselves with all the emotions, and we ain't got a tear out of Andy, and that's her best friend. But let's keep rolling. So Andy, she yells at the guys to stop all this foolishness because they ain't helping nothing. Oh, what happens now? Danny shows up. Again, y'all, here come the emotional Olympics. Because she comes up asking like what's going on. You have Pam who has to chime in because everybody else went on mute for some reason. She's like, there was a fire. Because y'all know, she has that cry that got that shakiness in the voice. So her whole thing is, well, there was a fire, Danny. And Danny's like, okay, well, she all right? Right? Like, what's going on? Like, y'all still not saying nothing. Y'all peep Zach in the background. Baby, he is serving every emotional facial expression that you can see right now. He is all messed up in that background shot. All right, y'all. Now everybody is starting to cry and whine, right? Now we got to do this all over. Because who's here? Now we got Sabrina pulling up. Her and Maurice. I'm just like, yo, you couldn't just round all these people up to get there at the same time so we ain't got to keep going through these Olympics. All right, it's her turn. She get there. She's like, what's going on, guys? So now we got Andy showing out in the Olympics because she's being extremely emotional. She's shaking her head. She's basically letting, Sabrina know our girl ain't here no more, right? Now, y'all, Sabrina about to show out and do her thing because she gonna hit us with the, where's Karen? Where's Karen? Where's Karen? Y'all, she hit us with the low whisper. I didn't expect it. But she hit us with the low whisper with the emotional Olympics. Baby, I think Aaron got fed up of everybody showing him up because he's like, there's a dead body in there. We're waiting on the coroner. I said, oh, you tapped out of the Olympics? So you just gonna go ahead and get real serious right now? So then, y'all, here goes Danny. Well, what happened? What's going on? And of course you have Zach whining in the background. Y'all, they won't let nobody in. I said, shut up, Zach. So now they got to flash on over to Pam, right? Before she can say anything, before she can shake her voice one more time, here go Aaron. Pam left the curlers on. Y'all, this is not supposed to be funny. But the way he threw her ass under that bus, baby. If I was Pam, I would have just went and sat in my car. I would have left this moment. Because, baby, Aaron ain't gonna ever let her live this down. So now you got Pam on the defense. She's like, I swear I turned them off. I swear I turned them off. So you have Danny, she's like, for real, Pam, like, this is a terrible situation. Especially if you leaving the curling irons on leading up to a whole fire. Like the whole building done burnt down. But y'all, what am I doing? Peep in the background. Why is Zach in the back grabbing his chest as if this is Sanford and Son and he about to go join Elizabeth? What is happening? So here goes Danny. She's like, that's all she had. That's all she had left. I said, that's all she had left. What is going on right now? Is the story changed? Like, I don't care about no burning building. This woman could possibly be dead and her baby as well. Are we not addressing that? Then out of nowhere, here comes Preston. Where'd you come from? Y'all, I can't lie. My first thought when Preston arrived was, is Mindy in the car? Because that sounds very Preston-like for him to have been driving past the place saying, isn't that Karen's shop? Let me go ahead and pull up and see what's going on while Mindy's in the car waiting. That sounds very Preston-like. So, of course, Danny's crying in his arms. You got Andy crying in Gary's arms. And now here comes Calvin. Y'all, what the fuck kind of meet and greet is this? It's so many unnecessary characters here right now that I'm fed up. When did Sabrina text Calvin that he needs to show up to the salon as well? Please let me know. And why would she even do that? Because if the girls tell you, hey, you need to get to the salon, right? She's already bringing Maurice. What would she need to text Calvin that he needs to arrive as well? Because it could be a serious situation that is a sister circle moment. Please make it make sense. But y'all, Calvin's here as well. So now she can go ahead and wrap her arms around Calvin for emotional support. So y'all, the medical examiner finally arrives. They go into the burning building. I mean, the burnt building, because the fire has been put out. And next thing you know, Danny's like, okay, so who gonna call Miss Lisa? And basically, Andy tried to pass it off to Sabrina. I said, I know you lying. Why would you try to pass that off to Sabrina of all people? Please let me know. So now, guess who volunteered as tribute, y'all? Zach. Again, he trying to win the emotional Olympics, y'all. He is trying to win with a badge of honor. Now, y'all know who can actually make the phone call to me? Have Fatima do it. Fatima been making calls all the time. I think she'd be a perfect candidate. She can get the information out clearly. Let Fatima do it. Oh, but baby, the boys is about to fight yet again. This is the second round at this point. Because Zach feels like he should call Miss Lisa. And Aaron is like, no, we need to confirm that it is her before you give that information to her mother. I absolutely agree with Aaron on this, because I get y'all all hooping and hollering outside, but until that body come out and you can identify that it is Karen Mott, baby, do not call her mama. Do not send her mama spiraling unnecessarily. That's one of the worst things you can do, because you already know no parent wants to hear that their child has passed away. They don't, okay? That right there is a hurt that no one wants to feel. And for Zach to sit up there and holler out of his mouth, this is family. You wouldn't know anything about that. Family? Sir, you are not Karen's family. Sit down somewhere. You just her ex-boyfriend. Y'all may possibly have a child together. But no. Karen is not your family. Back up. Scoot back a little bit. But did he scoot back? Oh no. He decided to move forward. Make a phone call to Miss Lisa. Leave her a message that basically Miss Lisa needs to call him back whenever she gets the message, and he over here boo-hooing on the goddamn line. I said, Zachary Taylor, you are doing way too much right now. How is it that you are more bent out of shape and emotional than each one of the sisters who've been rocking with her since college? Sit your ass down somewhere. And let me tell you who's been peeping all of this. Fatima. Because you can tell Fatima is pissed off, okay? Because the way Zach is reacting, you would think that Fatima was just nothing to him, the way he's reacting to this news about Karen. Now, on the flip side, you have Andy over there boo-hooing, again, emotional Olympics. Danny wants to go in the building, but she knows she can't. Preston is trying to console her best he knows how. Here comes Gary saying, let her work it out her way. And in that moment, I will say I agree with Gary. You got to let people feel how they feel and work out emotions how they want to work them out. Unless she was, harming herself or harming other people, then you can step in. But Danny wasn't doing anything. Preston just be there in the moment, chill out. Y'all, then Tyler. I don't know what happened with the writing, because out of nowhere, here comes Sabrina telling this story about one time in college they had some damn orange soda and whatever happened then. I said, that's the memory that you want to bring up, girl? I guess. Now, one thing that I've been noticing, y'all, is that Fatima has had to stand there and be the rock for Andy, as well as Pam was crying on her shoulder. Baby's girl's clothes should be soaking wet with all the tears that are on her outfit. But guess who ain't been crying on her shoulder? Zachary Taylor, her man. Now, y'all, let me tell you where Tyler had me all the way up. So the medical examiner comes out, right? And he basically tells everybody that he can confirm that the person in there is deceased, right? Okay. So, here goes everybody. Again, emotional Olympics. Everybody whooping, crying, whining, yelling, all the emotions, breakdowns. We got people about to fall out on the floor. All of this for Karen to walk her ass up as if nothing happened. Let me tell y'all something. Tyler can kiss my whole ass. The whole thing, okay? I wasn't gifted with a big ass, but that's not the point. Let me tell you something. If Karen had been in that room, in the salon, with all that smoke inhalation, she would absolutely be in the hospital. For sure. Because we have to make sure your lungs are good, especially considering you're pregnant. I don't believe that she would just be able to roll and stroll her ass right back in front of these people. And I said, why was her line to say, oh, it's happening? What's happening? That your ass is back like you never left before? What the hell is happening? So now everybody realized that Karen ass is alive. Who's the first person to run up and hug her, y'all? Zachary Taylor. I said, if y'all don't come get Zach up off my screen right now, I'm hating this storyline. And let me tell you something. The Sistas is better than me. Because if I were them, I would have bulldozed Zachary ass right out the way. Said, if you don't get the fuck out the way, you wouldn't even like her like that. Back up off her. Then, for her to be like, oh, but the salon burned down. And Aaron's like, oh, we can fix that or whatever. And here goes Zach going in for what? The third hug. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to help you rebuild everything. Negro, you don't work. You ain't got no money coming in. It's bad enough. You about to be in a custody battle trying to fight for custody of your child. That's going to cost some money. You telling me that you going to also pay for Karen's shop to be repaired? If you don't get the fuck up out of here, Zachary Taylor. And what's really bothering me is that you didn't even try to check on the fact that, oh yeah, is the baby okay? Why is that not a question? So now Zach is trying to go in for hug number 4. The girls finally push his dingy ass out the way. And, they're hugging on her. And, Pam is like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're alive. But baby, the energy that Karen gave her back, yikes, okay? The way Karen spazzed on her, I get it. She definitely should have left those curling irons on. The business has burned up. Like, it's just a really bad situation. Honestly, I hate this storyline for Pam because Pam has been ride or die for Karen. Even in times when the girls weren't ride or die for Karen, she was there for her during the whole, finding out she was pregnant, all of that. And for it to come to this, it's actually very sad. So next thing you know, Karen tells the story of what went down. Basically, she fell out and collapsed while she was in the inhaling all that smoke in the building. The next door neighbor, who has a business, he actually came over and saved her up out of there. All right, okay. Shout out to Mr. Lewis. Shout out to him. So now they got to figure out who is actually in there because they said that there was a body in there. So who actually died? And Karen is like, wait, you mean to tell me somebody is actually up in there? And I'm like, well, girl, this ain't the first person to die in your salon. Because the first one was Aaron's wife. Now, y'all, Tyler done changed up the whole damn story on us. The whole damn story. So, Pam, we all owe you an apology, girl. You didn't leave the curling irons on. According to the man, the coroner, or the medical examiner, whichever job he got, he said that the fire started in the back where the homeless people be hanging out. And basically, that's how the building caught fire. To me, from what I saw, it looked like the fire was where them curling irons was. But if that's what they say, we gonna roll with the story. So basically, the man tells her, listen, just call your insurance company. They should probably be able to take care of all this, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, y'all, why Karen ain't got insurance on the place. I said, Karen, you dropped the ball, baby. How do you not have fire insurance on this business? And then you have Pam chiming in like, well, at least I'm glad you're not dead. I said, Pam, let me find out that this is going to be your last season. Is that what you trying to tell us? You ain't trying to work for Karen no more. Now, baby, listen, the way they wrap this little scene up, I cannot. The girls, they decide they need a drink. They gonna leave. So the sister circle leaves, right? Y'all, they left them dudes high and dry. These men came out the woodworks to support them. And they said, all right, enough of that. We going to Andy's for drinks. So now you have all the guys sitting around. I don't even know when Fatima vanished. I think once Karen got there, Fatima got on. We don't even know when she's left. So here goes Pam, right? Because she peeped how Zachary was acting over Karen, possibly being dead. She had to call him out about it. He's like, no, it wasn't like that. No, it was like that, sir. You was acting like that was your girl, and she ain't your girl no more. Come to find out, Fatima skedaddled. Once Karen got there, she hopped in a ride share. I said, why? When she drove, maybe she was so pissed off she didn't want to be in her vehicle. I was hollering when Pam was like, yeah, look like you stepped in dog shit today. I said, yep, Zachary actually did. Now, y'all, I just want to know, is Tyler about to try to rewrite history as if we didn't see Zatima and they already broke up? Like, is he going to make them break up because of this? Because that don't even make sense, because the storyline's crossing over. Yeah, whatever. But let's just go ahead and move on. So how do we actually wrap this scene up? It is with Pam needing a ride. She's already called all the men out about their behaviors, saying that ain't none of them better than, how Zach is acting. Which she ain't lying. But they left her high and dry, and I guess they just went on about their business. Now, for me, y'all, I feel like the episode could have ended there, but that's not what happened. So, we actually got a phone call between Aaron and Pam. He wants to apologize because, he blamed her for everything. She's not accepting his apology. She really wasn't feeling Aaron. She feels like the only reason why he tried to get back in good with her is because he tried to figure out a way to get back to get with Karen. And like she said, go call that other girl you was with, because we ain't forgot about that storyline. Next thing you know, we have Fatima. She's meeting up with her girl Angela. Y'all, here's my only issue with Angela's character. I feel like the way Tyler writes her lines, he gives her like one word answers for everything. It's always like, hey girl, oh, I'm sorry, is it Zach? Oh, okay. Like, I don't know why her lines are always like that. It's like she's not having a conversation. She's just like barely there adding in an ad-lib. But nonetheless, they talk about how, Karen's salon caught on fire and how Zach was acting. And within this conversation, I know that, Angela was trying to play devil's advocate, saying Zach almost thought that this woman was dead and all this stuff. But I was absolutely on Fatima's side. No, you needed to see him. The way Zach was acting was absolutely inappropriate. He was doing way too much, and he definitely abandoned Fatima. Like, he acted like Fatima wasn't even there. But let's move on over to the sister circle. So the sister circle is at Andy's place or whatever, and they are sharing Danny's vape pen. You have, of course, Karen not indulging because she's pregnant. And one thing that has frustrated me about this is that nobody addressed that she was pregnant. Nobody checked to say, oh my God, Karen, is everything okay? How's the baby? Like, nothing like that. And I'm just like, how is that not a question? But nonetheless, the whole point of this scene was for the girls to reflect on what happened that day. And of course, y'all, Danny had to be the person to call out the fact that, number one, Zach was being extra as hell when it came to what went down with Karen. Like, nobody could deny that. And also, how Fatima skedaddled after everything was said and done. Now, you already know Andy wants to wrap this conversation up with a bow. And honestly, I don't blame her. I would have tried to change the conversation as well. Now, we have them circling the block with this conversation multiple times. Danny tries to bring up Zach. Andy keeps shutting it down. It's happening left and right. So then she tries to flip it on Danny and say, well, what about Preston and Calvin being there? And Danny opens up a little bit and says that, he left old girl in the hotel to come see her. And y'all, it just hit me in that moment that I realized that Danny has not told the girls that Jonah reappeared to attack her. So this is another addition of things that have occurred in Danny's life that she is keeping from her sister circle of girls. So maybe they'll find out, maybe they won't. But here's the thing, that ain't even important right now, because Karen lets us know that she needs to change the subject because she has to tell the girls that while she was there at the hospital, her doctor let her know who the father was. Now, y'all, I call BS on this because last time I checked, that when you are pregnant and you are trying to get a DNA test, I believe, to my knowledge, you would need a sample of the father's blood or something like that. So that way there's something to compare the DNA to. So who signed up for that? When did Aaron or Zach go give a blood sample? Please let me know, y'all, because I don't recall that happening. Nonetheless, that was the episode. I know this review is extremely long. I'm sorry. Hopefully the next one will be shorter. Y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. What y'all think about the emotional Olympics that we had to suffer through. Do you feel like this whole thing with Kira just walking up was dumb? How do you feel about Zach and Fatima and how Zach was acting? Drop that in the comments and let me know what y'all thought. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.